What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode. This is Jonna with Babble of Nonsense.
And Lauren with Rhyme and Reason.
And we are doing another collab today. As I told y'all, she will be on this podcast a lot in the coming months. Woo woo. Because we just want to talk about everything and everything. So conversations to be had by all. So we're going to get started in just a minute, guys. Listen out. All right. Now I just felt like Matthew McConaughey.
All right.
We are about to dive into a hard topic about body image that is a lot for me. And I wanted Lauren here. Number one, she's a life coach, so she can coach me through this. And I just think this is a good conversation to have among women in general, just about our bodies, because I didn't realize how many people had issues. I took a poll on the Instagram the other day, and we're going to go over that in just a minute about all kinds of questions, and it's crazy.
I'm so excited to hear what people said.
It's so crazy. So, guys, we're going to dive in, and we're going to talk about body image, whether it be about the way you look, the way you feel, just everything around the body. So, let's just go ahead and get started. So, I took a poll, like I said, on Instagram, and one of the questions was, what do you find most attractive, like the most attractive thing about someone else? And the options were their physical appearance, their confidence, personality. Okay. So 3 people said physical appearance. 3 people.
Interesting.
And I thought that would have been the number one pick.
Yeah.
And then 7 people said confidence.
Okay.
58 people said personality. And I was really shocked by that because something I not value, I don't think that's the right word, but something I always think about me is like, not my personality, but like the way I look, because if someone doesn't like the way you look, why would they speak to you? So that was really shocking to me. And then obviously someone wrote in and said, well, their sense of humor. So one person said sense of humor. So, which I mean, I get.
That's important too.
So can you believe that 3 people just said physical appearance?
No, I'm actually really, really shocked.
I am. But disclaimer, if it was not a yes or no question, because I shared it to my Facebook as well, it was really hard to get those numbers because on Facebook, like if someone picked A, B, or C, it just sent me a message. So it was really hard, and I did not count. So if it's just a multiple choice, I only counted Instagram because it was just way too hard to figure out Facebook. So if it was a yes or no only, Facebook was easier because they could pick yes or no. But if it was a multiple choice, it was just Instagram.
Okay.
So super crazy because like over 100 people answered most of the poll questions, but then I couldn't factor in. It was just too much. So the second question was, do you feel you judge yourself based on your looks? And the options were obviously yes and no. So 115 people said yes, and 16 people said no.
Okay.
And I'm just going to go ahead and tell you my answer was yes. So I judge myself based on my looks. So the third question was, what do you fixate most about yourself? And the options were face. 4 people said their face. Body composition, 56 people said body composition. Their attire, 2 people said their attire. And hair was 4 people. So body composition, which that would be my answer. Like how I look, waist-wise. Well, when we think body composition, I think we're thinking about like our waist, our hips ratio.
Like our proportions.
Yeah. So, and I can understand that. So that would have been my answer too. And then the fourth question was, does how you look determine your mood? The options was yes or no. And 90 people said yes, and 31 people said no.
I thought that would have been higher.
I thought so too. I thought yes would have been higher because based on how I look that day is if I'm in a bad or good mood.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you thought no would have been higher?
No.
Okay.
No, I think your response was really interesting because it depends on your mood, on how you look. So would you say that your mood determines your look?
Oh, for sure. Probably.
Oh, see, I'm the other way around sometimes. The look can determine my mood.
Oh, well, that's what I meant. Like, if I wake up in the morning and let's say I'm bloated or have gained a few extra water weight pounds, then I'm like, oh, I'm in a bad mood. So I don't know if I'm saying the right thing. Sometimes I don't. I mean, truth be told. So then I wanted to go into like Botox and filler because obviously that can alter your look. Yes. And I wanted to know what people's opinion was on that because for the longest time when I got my lips injected, I wouldn't tell people because I was so afraid of being judged for altering my face. Because for whatever reason, it's okay for people to alter their body.
Yeah.
But not to alter their face.
Yeah.
I don't know what the disconnect there is. And it's like, well, because you're born with your face. Well, you're born with a body too. Like, why can't I change something about me? You know? But so the question for Botox was like, were you for or against Botox and fillers? And 77 people said yes, they were for Botox and fillers. And 42 people said no.
Okay, so 77 yes and 42 no.
Yeah.
Okay.
And surprisingly, because I thought more people would actually be for Botox and fillers. And the way I worded it on Instagram was hell to the yes or hell to the nah. Mm-hmm. Like, or all natural or something like that. So a lot of people said they like all natural. But side note, do you like all natural? Because something you think is natural, maybe they're not telling you they have Botox and fillers.
100%.
So yes. I'm just like, do we really know if you like it or not? We don't know. I think a lot of people are distorted in their mind what Botox and fillers are. Like the Kylie Jenner lips.
They go to the extreme when they think about it. Yeah.
Like Kylie Jenner lips are, in my opinion, too big. They don't look natural. And then some people just want a little reshaping or a little evening out. So I think that could be a misconception too, but we'll dive into.
I can't wait because this is one that I really want to talk about.
So the next one was plastic surgery. Are you for or against plastic surgery? And 92 people said yes and 24 people said no.
Okay.
Which was...
That feels about, yeah.
Yeah, that feels about right. So then the next question was, if you were for plastic surgery, what is the more acceptable plastic surgery? So there was a multiple choice, and they were between liposuction, facial plastic surgery, breast implants, or BBL, which is your butt lift. 18 people actually surprised me saying liposuction was acceptable. One person said facial plastic surgery was acceptable. 26 people said the breast, and one person said BBL, and a lot of people actually DM'd me. And the reason why I couldn't put all of the above is because it only allows you 4 slots, but a lot of people DM'd me and said all of the above, all plastic surgery should be acceptable.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, which goes back to the theory of why is it okay to alter your body, but it's not okay to alter your face?
Correct.
Yeah. So the next question was, do you feel that women versus men are judged more on their physical appearance? And this won by a landslide. 5 people said they feel like men are more judged, with 3 of them being men. And 116 people said women were more physically judged on their appearance. So, duh.
Agreed.
Next question. Do you judge celebrities based on their physical appearance? And the obvious was yes or no, like the options. And 51 people said yes, and 60 people said no, which really surprised me because I thought that we all judged celebrities like, and when I say judge, I mean like you look at them or do you follow them because they're beautiful? You know? So I really thought more people would have said yes to that question.
Okay.
So the next one, we only got 2 more. Thank y'all for bearing with this long, drawn-out process. Do you view your looks as currency? And what I mean by that is like, do you view your facial features, your body, the way you present yourself as something to get in life? Not saying you get everything by your looks, but just saying like how you present yourself gets you somewhere, like your job, your promotion.
You can be more successful.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this shocked me. 44 people said yes. 54 people said no. And I don't know if I explained myself well enough, but I just thought that, like, I don't know if people thought that like prostitution.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that would have been higher too.
Yeah. I was just like, wow, maybe I'm just weird in that, but we'll discuss where that question came from here in a moment. Last question was, well, actually it's not the last, it's the second to the last. And then I'll go over the last one. What made physical appearance more of a big deal? Celebrities, social media, or the Kardashians? 8 people said celebrities did. 54 people said social media, and 5 people said Kardashians.
I guess in my mind, the Kardashians is basically celebrities mixed with social media.
True, but so a lot of people don't think that the Kardashians are celebrities because they say that they weren't like movie stars or if that makes sense. They are celebrities, so that's why I kind of separated it because they became famous for not being famous.
Yes.
So, and then the last question, I'm going to have to pull my phone out for this, was if you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be? And if it's nothing, report nothing. And this was just like a box you could fill in. And a lot of people just like to kind of like round it out, was between their hair, their face, their body, skin, mental health, or nothing. So there was obviously there was more answers in that, but like out of the ones that we're talking about, 2 people wanted to change their hair. 1 person wanted to change their face. 10 people wanted to change their body, and most of those answers were my waist or my figure. And then 1 person wanted to change the way their skin looked. 5 people wanted to change the way they viewed themselves, their personality, things like that. So I kind of put that all under mental health. And then 2 people out of everyone that messaged me, and I had a lot of messages I'm showing Lauren.
Yeah.
Showing her now. Wrong picture. Wanted to change nothing, which I thought was like, wow, like I want to be you. Like I don't want to change anything about myself. So that was the poll on Instagram and Facebook, and we're going to kind of dive into the topic now.
Yes.
So this is something that has always been a thing with me. I've always valued, I always use the wrong word. It's not really value, but like when I was 16 in high school, I started paying more attention to like, why am I gaining weight faster than my friends? My friends can eat whatever they want. They can go to Sonic. Like, why am I having to watch what I eat and things like that? Because I noticed that I was like getting breasts and I had a butt
and to you that was gaining weight.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. And it was, so I started like running, or I remember when I was in home ec in high school, we learned how to cook. So I started cooking my own foods, and my mom told me, like, cause my mom was not the best cook. She would cook hamburger helper or something very unhealthy.
Yes.
Tuna fish sandwiches. So I started wanting to like just change, like, can I have whole wheat bread instead of white bread? And my mom was like, if you want to change what you're eating or you want to cook something differently, by all means go ahead.
But you're going to do it.
Yeah. You're paying for your groceries. So I learned how to like, quote unquote, meal prep at a very young age. So like now when I have my macro stuff, people are like, well, how do you, I'm like, well, it's kind of second nature to me because I've been doing it for a really long time. But it kind of started from a body issue problem.
Okay. So I want to go back to when I was 16 because I would say I was really thin, but I was also really insecure about that because I was seeing girls around me develop, and they would get, bigger boobs, or they would have a butt. And I would look at myself and feel like I felt like a boy.
And so what's so crazy about this is that we had probably the same feelings about our body, but just different.
Yeah.
And I think that we all forget that just because you're smaller or in a smaller frame, that doesn't mean that you can't hate your body as well. Like, and I'm not trying to sit here and have a hate fest, but
No, I think any shape, any size, there's going to be insecurities.
Yeah.
Because you're looking at everyone else and comparing.
And that's like, so when I looked at this poll, like obviously I can see who answers, which I'm not going to name names because I'm not going to call people out.
And thank you to everyone who did that. Yeah. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah. Like I had over 100 responses, and that was like just mind blowing to me. But like some of the people that I saw answer, like they wish they could change their waistline or be smaller or whatever. I was like, what? Like, not saying like they can't feel that way, because obviously I'm smaller and people look at me and say the same thing when I'm like, yeah, I just wish I could be smaller.
But your view of them,
yeah,
they wouldn't need it.
Yeah. And it just blows my mind that I sit here and have these issues that other people have, thinking that they have everything in the world they want because they look so good. And they're having issues too.
Yeah.
So I think that's just like mind blowing. But so I was talking to Lauren about this podcast that came out a couple weeks ago, because I follow Katie Maloney off of Vanderpump Rules, and she has a podcast called You're Gonna Love Me, because a lot of people give her shit about her weight because she gained a lot of weight from the first couple of seasons to the last couple of seasons. And a lot of people, because she's in this public figure role, that they're like, why can't you lose weight or whatever? And she's a normal size.
A lot of body shaming. Yeah.
And she's a normal size. And so she had this life coach on who had gained some weight as well, and was talking about like why people kind of feel that way. And I had this like aha moment, which when she said that your body is like currency, like you're brought up from a young age, like your facial features and your body, how thin you are, gets you places in life. Not necessarily like get you money, but you may get a better promotion because you look good, or you're thin enough that you may be a model, or
if you're pretty enough, you're going to get more attention.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh my God. Like, and she was like, and this is very deep in people that they don't even realize.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like, why does it matter if I gain weight, or why does it matter if my looks change? Because if that's only how you value yourself, or that's your only identity, which I talked about with Marley yesterday on a different podcast, if your only identity is, well, I'm a size 0 and I have these high ass cheekbones and these arched eyebrows, so what happens when that's taken away?
Yeah.
And now you're a size 13 with no cheekbones because now you've lost all your facial features. Like, who are you then?
Your circumstances change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's where that currency question came from. And I don't know if I expressed myself well enough on that, because I thought the answer would have been different. And that's what kind of developed this podcast, because I sent that podcast immediately to Lauren, and I was like, oh my God, we got to talk about this, because I've had issues with my body, and I haven't really opened up and talked about it. I've gotten better, and I've done some episodes in the past, like where my solo episode about my disordered eating, not really necessarily eating disorder, happened. And we can talk about it again today and kind of dive deeper into that, where I've always thought I was bigger than I am. I try to hide my body a lot. Like right now I have an oversized t-shirt on. I've always been that way. But I also have a lot of friends that are like, your body's great. Like, you work hard for it. You work out. Why are you not showing it off? And I'm like, not going to happen. Don't like how I look.
I definitely think we all have like an ideal version of what we look like, or what we should look like in our minds. And then when we see like what we are, who we are, it's really hard for us to acknowledge and accept when who we are and what we are is perfectly good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I completely agree. Like, okay, so when me and you were in high school, there was no social media.
Correct.
There was magazines and celebrities that we thought, oh my God, these girls are gorgeous, but had no idea that there was this filler world that existed.
Oh yeah. No. I think the thing that we could get the closest to would be like, maybe she had a boob job. Maybe. Yeah. But did she?
But we didn't know that like cheek filler and lip filler and things existed, right?
Photoshop.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Instagram, what I wrote it down here, the Facetune.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
yes.
Like,
I didn't know that was a thing until the other day.
Yeah, we didn't know that it existed when we were going through high school. So in somewhat, we were kind of blessed, I think, that we weren't seeing all these overly gorgeous women. And I'm not saying that these people without the stuff aren't gorgeous, or that I don't believe in it, but you mentioned a meme earlier. So go ahead and tell your favorite meme.
My favorite meme is, you're not ugly, you're just poor.
Which is so true.
And it has the 2 pictures of Kylie Jenner. And that is absolutely no hate towards Kylie Jenner. But I think that there's a huge gap in honesty. And that also leaves a really, really high expectation and standard that just isn't possible.
Yeah. So like, and we were talking before this podcast that there's this, what did I say? Like unreachable beauty, like standard, this beautiful standard that like we look at the Kardashians and they're like, God, they're gorgeous. They are like, I don't care if you love them or hate them.
But can we stop for a second? Because not long ago, there was a picture that was leaked of Khloe Kardashian that wasn't photoshopped. It wasn't like someone on her team. I don't know if it was purpose or not, leaked it, and it was her in a bikini, and my God, she looked fucking
Still looks
beautiful.
good, but she was mortified.
And it was a whole thing, and I'm like, girl, you look good.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. Like, but we all have that standard, right? Like to her, that wasn't her standard of what she typically puts out in the public. So like this unattainable, and I just wish that they would say, like, now Kylie has finally admitted that she has lip filler, obviously. And Chloe on their last episode or whatever admitted that she had a nose job and filler. She admitted that. And she said that no one had actually asked her. That's why she had never said. But like, let's talk about your butt that you keep saying is real.
Yeah.
Like, sure, they're not implants. I get that. They're not implants. But we all now know that a BBL exists where you can transfer fat from your waist to your ass. And we need to let people know that your waist cannot be a size 20 with a hip size of a size 50.
There is definitely a responsibility that needs to be taken when the majority of your audience is female.
Yep.
And going back to how we were talking about how we didn't have social media in high school, which was
That's
a blessing.
How old we are, guys. We didn't have social media.
It was a blessing, but now we are in our 30s and we're starting to experience change in our bodies.
Yeah.
And what are we looking at? Everything on social media.
It's true.
And we are judging ourselves based on all these other things that we didn't even have. It wasn't even a standard. We didn't even know.
Yeah.
And now we feel like, good God, we have to like catch up.
No, I completely agree. And I was telling you earlier that, and I'm just going to say this, and I've never said this really out loud to a lot of people, that I've never thought I was attractive. Still don't. When people give me compliments, like I'm getting better at saying thank you. But like from the waist down, I'm good. Like I've got a nice figure. From the waist, like from my waist, from the neck down. So from the neck up, like, so my face, I've always thought was atrocious. So if I could control what I looked like body wise, like work out, eat less, whatever, if I could control that, then I could control my beauty, right? Because if you're looking down, you're not going to look in my face.
Yeah.
Because that's a distraction.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. Well, first off, you're beautiful.
Thank you.
Like, for real. And second off, I will say, like, I had a lot of the same struggles, like growing up and feeling I had a decent figure and it was the only thing anyone ever mentioned. And so then it made from the neck up feel even more ugly, right?
Yeah.
But as I'm coming into my own, I want people to notice me for my brain.
Yeah.
And for who I am. And that's a hard shift to make because it feels like that struggle between I still have to look good, but wait a second, look at this other part of me too.
Which, according to this poll, people care about your personality. And what's that say about me? Because my personality is a fucking bitch.
No.
Unless you know me, then
you're
I'm
amazing.
I'm kind of funny.
You're amazing. I think that's a lot of people though. Like in order to really get to know someone, you have to get to know them.
Yeah. And like, and I'm guilty of it because my friends will be like, well, why don't you just like go on a date and try these different guys out? And I'm like, but I'm not attracted to them.
Yeah.
But how do I know that if I don't talk to them? Because the one that I was obsessed with for so long, not to be like mean, but not as attractive as like what I'm going for now, but I loved his personality. Loved it.
But see, okay, so this is something that as an adult I've looked back on, and you will completely understand what I'm talking about is when you think about guys like in high school, junior high, maybe even college, that weren't the most attractive, right? Like the standard whatever, but you were so attracted to them. Why? Right?
And we still don't know.
It's true, but it really is. It's personality, it's confidence.
Yeah.
It made you want them.
Yeah.
And you wanted to know why. Wait, like, why am I so attracted to you? You know? But I mean, the same goes for us. Like we get to have that option too.
But I feel like women specifically are more judged. So like, it's acceptable to have a dad bod.
Oh my God.
This
is something that gets me going so much.
We're going to transition because you have 2 children.
Yes.
And it's acceptable for a guy to have a little bit of a beer belly.
It's not even just accepted. It's celebrated.
Yeah. It's like, oh, look at your dad bod. Like, they're so sexy. Yeah. But you need to be, you birthed 2 children and you need to have a 6-pack.
Yeah. 100%.
So why is that a beauty standard?
Well, and by the way, I don't have a 6-pack. I was telling Jonna earlier, I've been working out lately, and I most definitely pulled a muscle in my stomach trying to lay down on the bench, but that's fine. It's okay.
I love it.
Making progress.
But I mean, I don't understand why the dad bod is celebrated and mom bods aren't.
Yeah, and I have a hard time with this because I can sit here and I want to celebrate like a woman's body because of what it can do, what it has done. Like, it's amazing. It fucking creates life.
Yeah.
Like, and to watch your body expand and do all these things, it's beautiful, it's painful, it's hard. Like, that should be celebrated. It shouldn't just be some like, oh, like I have this gnarly scar that I got, 4-wheeling, and oh, you were so tough and brave. And no, but like, what about the scars on my stomach when I carried like 9.5 and 10-pound babies?
Exactly.
Like,
and you're a small person.
I have a smaller frame, but I also don't give myself the same credit that I want to give other women.
Yeah. But I think it's hard for all of us to do that. Like, I can sit here, because earlier you said your body's obliterated.
Yes.
And I said, stop saying that because you're actually smaller than me and I haven't had children, but we do that. We do that. We judge ourselves. And I could sit here and tell you, you look amazing, you look great, and you'll do the same thing to me, but we can't do the same thing for ourselves.
I think I'm having an aha moment because you said that I'm smaller than you, and I don't base my idea of beauty or perfection off of size.
And that's amazing. Like, I wish I didn't.
Like, because on my body...
Well, I say I wish I didn't, but I don't with other people other than me.
Right.
Like, okay, so Ashley Graham...
yeah.
Not the smallest person in the world, but the most
beautiful.
I love her.
Oh my
gosh.
Remy
Bader, who has made a huge Instagram following, TikTok following. I think that girl is gorgeous.
And they have the most beautiful silhouettes.
Yes.
Like, when I think of a woman and the figure and the shape, that's what I imagine.
Well, I'm reading a book now because me and you have both, like, I'm starting to read memoirs of, is that the right word?
Yes.
Memoirs of celebrities. So we have read Lala Kent's book and Jessica Simpson's book. And I'm currently reading Mariah Carey, which I will give to you when I'm done.
Can't wait.
And it's just like, so Mariah Carey's talking about Marilyn Monroe. In her book. And so she was the first sex symbol.
Yes.
She was not a size 2.
No.
She was curvaceous.
No.
She was like...
You look at Bridget Bardot. Yeah. You look at all the women from like that era. They were like now considered full figured. And I'm like, no, they just have like boobs.
Yeah.
And which would be nice. I wouldn't mind having some myself because I don't.
Well, we can go on to that topic, but that will be another conversation. So, like, obviously you can get them, right?
Yeah.
But so funny story, which I'll keep short because I'm going to keep that with another conversation. So I had breast implants.
Okay.
Took them out because I had breast implant illness. So I spent $20,000 putting them in. They displaced, replaced them, and took them out. $20,000 on my chest right here. All to look the same. And I'm telling you right now, I've never been more confident without my breast implants than I was with them.
Yeah.
So don't wish for something you don't have because you could go get them and be like,
So it's funny you say that because that's the thing that keeps me from going and getting breast implants is because I have a good feeling. I have a pretty sensitive body and I'm pretty in tune with it. That is something that would come up in my body.
Because you're changing a part of you.
Yeah.
So no, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I miss my breast implants because I could just wear a sports bra and not a bra and they were just perfect. But the way I felt, I kid you not, when I took my breast implants out, people were like, oh my God, you've lost so much weight. And I was like, I literally just took my breast implants out. Literally have lost no weight.
I've noticed that a lot of people that get implants, they look like they've gained weight.
Yeah.
And I guess to further this topic some, growing up, I never had a large chest. And then after having babies, they look a lot different. They're much more like teardrop, I guess. And I always say, like, I don't want big boobs. I just wish there was more to fill the skin, because I had a lot of stretch marks. It's, they're not as perky, but my husband is more attracted to them now than before. And
Really?
I find that really interesting. So I think I try to
But I think that the stuff that we do to our bodies or whatever, like, okay, so I've had lip filler. Mm-hmm. And for a long time, I was really hard on myself about it. Like, I felt really guilty for doing that, for altering my appearance. Because I would go to work and people would be like, there's something different about you. I don't know what it is, but there's something different about you. And I'd be like, oh, nothing.
You felt like you couldn't say.
Yeah, because I didn't want to be judged based off of it.
Well, and that creates guilt and shame.
So I felt guilty about it. So I didn't talk about it for a really long time until it's becoming more of a thing down here. And it's just something, not that I'm getting Kylie Jenner lips, but like I have a very small upper lip.
Okay. So mine are I have like non-existent. That's why
mine were non-existent. My stepbrother called me the no lip soldier.
Yeah.
I would
be one as well.
Scream that at me. But like, so like and I don't consider my lips huge.
No.
I feel like they're just normal size now. And I feel like if I put on lipstick, I'm just like, okay, I feel like I have something bigger.
Okay. So funny you bring that up, because I don't wear lipstick. I rarely wear lip gloss because I feel like, one, it'll bring attention to them. And two, I feel like there's not enough there to put anything on. So if I were to ever like go and get filler in my lips, which is something that I'm actually really interested in, it's because like I want to wear lipstick. I want to feel like comfortable and confident wearing lipstick.
But it's funny because like they say the eyebrows and the lips like make up the whole face.
I could totally see that. Yeah.
So, but like when people found out, like no one cared. No one cared. I made it this huge deal in my head that it wasn't even.
Yeah. Okay. But answer me this, right? We talk about we're changing like our face and it's more acceptable to change our body, but like, what about when we go and get highlights? We're changing our hair.
So I thought that, so I've read something. So like we talk about like people saying something about like filler or plastic surgery, but it's totally acceptable to get hair extensions.
Yeah.
To change your hair color, to go get a spray tan.
Tattoos.
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
So, and I've thought about that too. Like why, but here's the thing. A lot of, like, if I want something, I want it. But I'm more worried about what other people think about me doing it. And why is that? That is a problem that I care what you think, what I'm doing to my body.
Okay. Do you think it's a sense of you needing permission from other people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it totally is a permission thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm changing my face. I'm changing, my body. But everyone can spend 20 hours in the gym eating nothing, being anorexic.
Yeah.
And it's not a problem.
And that's okay.
Waist training, whatever, because you're working, quote unquote, working hard for it.
Yeah. Okay. So I have a little story about when I have two tattoos. I got one on my hip when I was 18. My friend, Jessie, actually bought it. She was my influencer, which I love. But my second one I got when I was in my later 20s. And it's on my arm. And I remember like thinking, I'm going to get so much shit from my family. And sure enough, I go home and I'm visiting my grandmother, and my grandmother's like, Lauren. And she just looks at me and she shakes her head.
Oh.
Right. And I said, Grandma, I got two things to say. If I never did it, I would regret it.
Yeah.
And two, does it change my heart?
No.
And she had nothing to say back. Like she was like, oh, and never said anything after that.
Well, that's why like this whole poll and I judge you based on your personality blew my mind, because do you?
Yeah.
Because if I change how I look, and some of these people who answered, if I change how I look, you have a comment to say. But that didn't change my personality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, this whole body issue, and I think it's getting better. I think that with social media and people being more honest of it's just poses, it's just
a peek behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is getting better for this movement of body positivity and bigger women saying like, look, stop, I am beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think that like with Remy Bader and stuff, like they're trying to stop the whole plus size, because why am I plus size? I'm just a size.
Yes.
Like, stop calling me plus, call me a size.
So after I had Kaiser, and with each pregnancy, this is just something like on my side of the family, we gain a lot of weight when we get pregnant. We also have really big babies. I think it's our bodies trying to like,
I mean, it's just birthing. It's just pregnancy.
Well, so like after I had him, I was going somewhere and I needed some shapewear, right? Like we're wearing a dress and I need shapewear. And so I go to Target and this is like 6 months after I had Kaiser. Like I'd lost a lot of the baby weight, but I was looking for shapewear and I kid you not, I could not fit into the extra large.
Wow.
I could not fit into
small.
the extra large. And it opened my eyes up to what the hell.
Well, that's what they say. Like all these brands who, so have you ever put on a size, let's say I just wear a size 6 and I can put on a size 6 in this brand, this brand, this brand. One fits loose, one fits tight, one fits good.
Yeah.
But they're all size 6. What the fuck is that about? Like,
yeah. Why can't we just make clothes for women?
Yeah. But there was a, article not too long ago talking about how people like certain brands, like if you're a size 6 but it fits big on you, people will buy it more because it fits loose on you and you're a quote unquote size 6.
I can remember someone even telling me about I don't remember what it was, but it was they were jeans and they were like, oh, but they run big so you can get a smaller size.
Yeah.
And it just kind of caught me off guard. Like,
that's a total marketing tactic.
I just need him to fit, but should I be worried about that? you know, like, oh shit, like, okay.
But to be honest with the poll, like I was actually super shocked about the liposuction because I'm not gonna lie, and I've never told anyone this. I don't even know if any of my friends know this. I've literally considered liposuction in my abdomen before, and people were probably sitting there rolling their eyes. So I can wear high-waisted jeans and I have a very narrow waist.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of weight in my lower abdomen because when I got my thyroid issues, I gained weight very rapidly.
Okay.
And it's kind of, I compare it to pregnancy, which I know it's not, but like when you're pregnant and then you gain that weight rapidly, like it's hard to lose.
Yeah.
Like you go from, you know, whatever to whatever in a short amount of time. And so every time, like I can lose weight, but what's left over is that weight that I gained so rapidly never goes away. So I've literally been like, well, I could just do a little liposuction, but then I feel guilty because I'm like, well, is that cheating? Number one, because I'm a nutrition coach and I talk to people about loving their bodies.
Yeah.
Number two, I'm just like, well, I could do better. I could diet more. I could work out more. But I'm so fucking exhausted that my cortisol is so spiked because I'm doing as much as I can already. And I was
You're
actually
in like
shocked.
a vicious cycle.
Yeah, I was actually shocked that people said liposuction was appropriate or acceptable because I thought a lot of people thought liposuction was a cheat.
Yeah.
So that really shocked me with that poll.
I think it just shows you like once something is brought up and uncovered, once it's around long enough, then it becomes okay. It becomes acceptable.
And that's sad because if I want to do something and I have the money to do it, why can't I do it if that makes me feel better?
Yeah. Because
I have this other outside source that it's like, well, people are judging me, so I better not. Even so what's the better thought? Is the thought better to care about what other people think about me, or is the thought better to feel better about myself?
Yeah.
What's the better thought?
So I will say I think that both are linked. And when you can separate the two, then you can make a choice and neither are wrong.
And I think that neither are wrong or any of it's wrong. And we should all be accepting and stop judging at the end of the day.
Well, it's our bodies and we can do as we please.
Agreed. And this has been such a great conversation, Lauren. And we're going to continue to have these conversations because they're hard to have. And I've said some things on this podcast that I've never told anyone. And so have you. And I appreciate the honesty.
Absolutely.
And until next time, guys, we will be coming at you with some realness. So bye.
Bye.